Do you want to make an extra $50,000 a year without having to sell more houses? I mean, I know I do. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. First of all, welcome back to the channel. It recently got brought to my attention that a lot of us individual agents, brokerages, teams, we've been coming into a massive problem where we are addicted to selling more. You get awards for selling more volume. You get awards for selling more units. You get recognized for, oh, he sold 200 units, 500 units. He sold 200 million in volume. That's not where the money is. Where the money is how much you make and how much you net per closed transaction. So today we're going to be talking about how to make more for every single transaction that you produce, so you don't have to go work so much harder. I don't want to work harder. I don't think you want to work harder. I want to work smarter and I want to work faster, and that makes life a lot more enjoyable. Let's start off with what we're going to be talking about today. For years, we've heard about what we call a broker transaction fee or just a transaction fee. And this is a fee that is charged for additional services that you as your individual agent or you as your brokerage provides to a client for servicing that file, for servicing that transaction. I'm going to read exactly how NAR defines it from their website, and that'll provide some clarity on it. And then I'm going to talk about why do we do it? Why do we not do it? Why don't we charge enough? All of those things. And when we get down to it, we're going to realize, wow, we're leaving a lot of money on the table if we're not using this one simple thing correctly. So let's dive into it. NAR defines it as a fee to help offset cost associated with processing paperwork and meeting regulatory requirements or administrative work. It's applied in addition to the commission and is tied to actual services rendered and cost incurred. I took that right off of the National Association of Realtors website. That's how they define a broker service fee or broker transaction fee. So why isn't everyone doing this? Well, some of us have a stigma in our mind that this is an additional charge that doesn't actually provide any value. That's just not the case. That's a limited belief that you've obtained at some point in your career, and that's not the case at all. Here's the thought I want to ask you. When you close a house and you have the actual, from time you worked with the client, let's say it's a buyer, all the way to the final closing, for that time period, you get paid a commission, generally, or a flat fee, depending on where you're at or whatever it is. You get paid some sort of compensation. When that day closes, here's what happens generally with me, and I don't know if it's the same for all of you. A week later, 3 days later, a month later, I get a call. Hey, Brendan, just a real quick question. The neighbor is parking on my piece of my yard. What should we do? I want to help my client at the highest level, so I'm going to perform a lot of extra duties that go along with making sure that they're happy and taken care of long after that file's closed. I call it the hey Brendan, right? Hey Brendan, hey, don't want to bother you, right? And they don't, but the clients are always coming like, hey, got this question. I'm servicing that file, that client, I hate to say the word file, the client for years and years and years to come, well after we ever close. In addition to that, next year I get a call from my client and they're going, hey Brendan, my accountant said I need this, that, or this. I lost all my stuff. Do you have it? Absolutely. Of course I do. I'm a true professional. Of course I can provide that for you. So I go ahead and make sure that they're taken care of. So that's a big thing. So it's taking care of it. Now, in addition, you could use that charge or that fee to have an additional set of eyes on your transaction. So maybe this is a transaction manager, and you could explain it to your clients that, hey, wouldn't it be better if I had more people taking care of this file to make sure everything is absolutely perfect? That's what this fee includes. So we'll talk about scripting in a second and what to say. Then the next question comes, what do I charge? Brendan, what do I charge? That simply depends on how much value you're going to provide. If you're going to do nothing after that home closes, then don't offer anything, or don't charge anything. If you're going to do like myself and so many other members of my organization and our team in our office that I work with, that what we do, then make sure you're getting compensated and taking care of that because you're providing an extra value to that client. You got to figure out what you're going to provide and then what you're going to charge. Now, typically, and I'm only going to say typically, and everything I've heard, because, this is only for entertainment purposes. This isn't, what we do or anything like this. I'm just saying, from what I've heard, agents charge anywhere from $199 to, I just got back from a real estate conference where an agent in the room was charging $1,450 per transaction. So it depends. Are you offering $200 of value for the next 5-10 years of servicing that client? Or are you offering $1,450 worth of value? So it all just depends. Think about a car, right? They have extended warranty programs. They have all of these things. Why? To service and help the consumer long after you leave the parking lot. So think about that. Next, how do I communicate this value? A lot of what I found out is that agents do not charge this or receive this fee because they don't know how to explain it, because they don't practice it. They get caught up on when they're presenting it. They get nervous on asking for it. Here's the simple thing. All you have to do is figure out what the value is you're going to provide. So here's a simple script that I would use. John, when you purchase your home through me, so in our buyer agency agreement, first of all, this entire agreement protects both myself and you throughout the entire course of this transaction. This agreement is for 12 months. And in addition to that, we also have a $599, $299, whatever fee you're going to charge, a $599 transaction fee that helps me not only take care of the file while we're working together, but is going to ensure that you're protected long after the property closes. So if you have a question, you need a document, you need any issues come up, I'm going to be able to take care of that file long after the transaction closes. So now all I need is a signature for us to move forward here on our buyer agency agreement, and I can get to work helping you. That's it. Join us for Roleplay. We have national Roleplay 3 times a week, 12 to 12:30 Mountain Standard Time. We'll put some information below and check us out there. But we got to get practice. We have to get practice in doing these conversations. All right, next, how do I overcome client pushback if I receive any client pushback? So let's say that you're talking to John and he goes, yeah, Brennan, well, we interviewed one other agent and he didn't have anything like this. In fact, he was fine without us even signing an agreement. Ooh. Okay, well, that concerns me, John, because first of all, that means that he's not willing to take care of you. He's not going to be doing the things that myself and my organization are going to do to make sure you have the most exceptional experience on earth. So that makes me nervous right out of the gate. Number two, what is probably the real major concern is he doesn't do much. Just like everywhere, you can work with somebody that does very little and you get no value from, or you can work with somebody like myself that is going to do a lot and you're going to receive a ton of value. It's completely up to you on how you'd like to move forward with that. It's explaining this, right? And you're just thinking through, what are they going to think? How are they going to react to all of this? So that's if they say, hey, you don't charge it. Or maybe they say, you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to pay. Heck, it's just not for me. And I go, excellent. Then why don't we do this? I want to make this a win-win for us, John. Why don't we do this? If you could provide me one name of anyone you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate, I would be willing to cut that fee in half, but I just need someone else. I need some way of offsetting that fee. So is there anyone you know right now that's looking to buy or sell real estate that I could help? So use the broker transaction fee perhaps as a transition to getting more out of what you want. So it's a win-win. All I think about with all of my clients is, how do I make this a win-win situation every single time? It can't be that I win and they lose, and it can't be that they win and I absolutely lose. Let me be clear right now, everyone. We are losing at a rate unlike I've ever seen before because we're so quick to give up our value because A, we're either not providing any, or B, we don't know how to explain it. And I'm just tired of seeing that. So let's be careful. Let's be careful with how we move forward with that. And then lastly, right, I want to make sure we're really clear on how it's disclosed. So we've got to make sure that if you're doing estimated net sheets, they're in the estimated net sheets. If they're in your listing agreement or buyer agency agreement, they're clearly defined and laid out. I want to make sure that you're not just all of a sudden trying to sneak in some last minute fee. And that's what we see sometimes happen, and clients get very upset with that. Be upfront, be proud of the value you provide, and make sure that you're getting what you deserve for what you do. I'll tell you a last story, and here's the story, right? I was just talking to an amazing agent. She was just working with a client, and she was helping him buy 300 acres of land. About 2 weeks goes by after they close, calls up and he goes, Catherine, there's 8 cows on my land. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what do I do? Well, let me help you. Let me work on this. So what does she have to do? She has to call the agent. She has to find out the neighbors around the area. She has to find out, is there a cow specialist in this situation that figures out whose cows these are? There's a whole number of things that are going to take her 3, 4, 6, 8 hours to sort through to make sure that that client is taken care of long after that transaction ever closed. Does that make sense? So get comfortable with it. I'd love to hear your comments below on your thoughts. I know some people get very upset about this. I know some, have very, very deep feelings about it, but usually what I see is it's a lack of understanding on why we don't do certain things, and it's a lack of providing value. I hope you do both. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, share it with someone that maybe isn't charging a transaction fee right now, or isn't charging enough for the value they provide. If you have any questions, connect with us, comment with us, and as always, I wish you great success.